Today on American Game Day, teams make big jumps in the rankings, good and bad. We got number 20, Kentucky versus newly ranked Florida, number 12. And it's Cupcake Week. American Game Day starts right now! Welcome to the great, the amazing American Game Day! Yeah, that's right. It's Saturday, but it's a weird Saturday for me because I'm recording this on the Wednesday, so I hope there's no breaking news because I won't probably be adding that. Anyway, I'm Brain Slayer, thanks for joining us, and our big marquee game is number 20 Kentucky going up against newly ranked, not even ranked last year, number 12 Florida. Okay, so imagine that Kentucky could thinking, oh, we're going to go play against, we're traveling to Florida, and thinking, oh, they're not ranked, or they might just jump in the ranking and be like, we'll still be the higher ranked team. No, they jump way ahead of them, and now favored to win the game after Kentucky was favored to win the game last week. Anyway, I'll talk more about that game later. Let's jump into some big headlines that I'm so excited for. Wake Forest quarterback Sam Hartman is cleared to play this Saturday, today, against Virginia Tech following a blood clutter issue they had. Wow. That is amazing news. I had Wake Forest favored to win the ACC, and with him coming back, means that, and it's a big game, Vanderbilt. Now, normally you don't hear a good game, but Vanderbilt's actually good this year, so I can't wait to see that. And some more news. Brian Kelly is on the hot seat. Well, he's not actually going to be a guest on this Monday's Hot Seat show, but I mean, he's in trouble right now. The way that they lost to Florida State. Eek. What was he thinking? And there's some bad rep coming for the players, and their players are saying that they're really not getting the strength, that they're really getting the discipline, the lack, and he's yelling at them, and it's really not a great coach, and it led to the big coaching changes that some fans were expecting to happen that didn't, because apparently their punt return dropped the ball twice, which cost them to lose the game. So Brian Kelly is kind of in trouble down there, and some people are wanting him fired just after the first game. Wow. And Fox, ESPN, big medias are really hyping up number 1 Alabama versus Texas. I'm okay with that. I mean, it's a good game, except for Alabama. You got Alabama in that game. And Texas, which hasn't had a great, they've done some great recruiting, but not this year. I mean, I really don't see any recruiting from them this year. So, anyway, Cedar fans, on ESPN Plus, you can check out the first game on ESPN Kids State in Oklahoma tonight at 6 o'clock. That'll be fun to watch. Anyway, alright, let's check out what I said about some rankings earlier this week on Down and Distance, and I'm going to compare later on to how I did the AP poll coming out. Number 25, I still got Oklahoma State. I moved Wisconsin to my ranking because I like the way they play. I gotta keep an eye on them though. Iowa, I moved them down the spots. I gotta see some more offense from them, but I do like the way they play. 2 safeties, that's rare. Notre Dame, I moved them forward, even though they lost to Ohio State, a good Ohio State team. I gotta see more from them. I gotta see more offensive plays from them. And plus, they blew a big lead. You can't do that against these teams. South Carolina, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Wake, I moved them all up a couple of spots. They're looking better. Their team to watch, they're improving. Clemson, I keep them at 17. And yeah, I made my rankings before the Clemson game, and I was really hoping that so I don't adjust my rankings that much because I already had it set. I was really hoping that Clemson wins and wins it kind of close. Kind of like they did. I mean, it was a close game all the way up to the fourth quarter. So I really like it. How I have there down Clemson where I lost. I probably would have made some adjustments and moved them probably all the way down to 21 and move 18 through 21 up. But if Clemson were to shut them out, I would have had to adjust and move Clemson way up. Anyway, let's move on to 7 through 16. Number 16, I've got BYU, Houston. I didn't move them at all. I like how they were in Houston. Really didn't do so much against UTSA, so I feel like 15 is a good enough spot. Oregon was the most disappointing for me this week. I mean, I really thought that they had a chance. Utah, too. The Pac-12 was the most disappointing. I really thought that Oregon Utah has the best chance of winning the Pac-12. They probably still do, but they're definitely far from the playoffs. The Pac-12 team had the farthest drop. Michigan, Oklahoma, moving up slightly. Yeah, they got a decent win, but again, they're playing cupcake teams. NC State, I wasn't really impressed that much about that win, so I had to move them down. Pitt, Kentucky, Tennessee, I like the way they played. Pitt, outstanding against West Virginia. The backyard brawl, they played, and first rivalry of the season. Week 1 on a Thursday night. They played great. Packed the house. Kentucky played great. Tennessee had an amazing game. I mean, these teams did an amazing job. Really just didn't. They'll continue to work their way up if they continue to play this way, but they really need to rely on upsets. Anyway, let's jump into my top 6 teams right now, and I got a couple changes that may surprise you based on what I saw. Again, I still got Ohio State at 1. Yeah, I know that it was a close game against Notre Dame, but they played a very good Notre Dame team, and they had to come back into it. Alabama still 2. Now, I've moved Georgia up 3 spots to number 3. So, I mean, a lot of people say that I had Georgia underrated. Yeah, I got yelled at for that. I have them at 3 now. Happy now? Alright. I got Michigan at 6. I moved them into my top 6. And now it comes down to 4 and 5. Who do I have for that 4th spot? Well, I got Baylor over A&M. Yeah, I really did that. And I am not disappointed. Here is the AP top 6 compared to mine. They got Alabama, of course, at 1, but they're moving Georgia to 2 now, so they're switching Ohio State and Georgia, so Ohio State is now 3, which I'm really surprised about that. I mean, Ohio State played a really good Notre Dame team. Why would you drop them because of that? I know Georgia destroyed 11-ranked Oregon, but, I mean, maybe Oregon wasn't as good as we thought. I mean, Oregon, was quite destroyed. I mean, yeah, they got a first head coach, but I mean, it might take a couple years to get things going there. And probably not right away like some people expected. Anyway, they got A&M at 6, and number 4 they got Michigan, and number 5 they have Clemson. So, yeah, I think the only big difference between these two is I got Baylor higher than they do, and they have Clemson higher than they do. So I have more faith in Baylor. I have more faith in the Big 12. The AP poll has more faith in the ACC than the Big 12. So really, it's coming down to, obviously, there's going to be 2 SEC teams. There's going to be at least 1 Big 10 team. It's either going to be Ohio State or Michigan. I don't think it's going to be both. I can't believe they're putting them both in. And then it's going to come down to the Big 12 and the ACC. It's going to come down to Clemson versus Wake Forest, and Baylor versus Oklahoma right now. Oklahoma's look really good, better than I expected right now. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes down. Alright, it's now time for the game of the week. Number 20, Kentucky versus newly ranked 12, Florida! Alright, so, yeah, I actually, before the AP rankings came out, I actually picked this as our game of the week over Baylor versus BYU, Alabama versus Texas. I almost forgotten their name. But anyway, I picked this because Kentucky is a really good growing team. Mike Stoops is doing a really great job down there. They look great, and Kentucky looks to be a favorite in the SEC in future years. Florida, new head coach. I figured that he's going through a rebuilding phase. They won't be great immediately, but the way they beat Utah is like, okay, this is going to be a good matchup. It's going to be lower in the SEC, but it's going to definitely feel like the winner of this game is definitely going to make some major impact in the SEC. And I can't wait to see that. And putting Florida at 12 really makes that, okay, this game is going to be bigger than I thought. And I was like, I can't believe that ESPN, called Gameday is not going down there, because I think it's a bigger deal than Alabama and Texas, because we all know Alabama is going to put like 50 points on them. Texas will be lucky to score 20. I'll say that. You can quote me on that. I say that all the time, don't I? But, yeah, I can't wait to see this game. It's going to be a great, fun game to watch. And I want to see Florida's defense improve. Utah's got a great offense, but you got to find a way to find the weakness in them. I know it's just week one. I'll give you that. But now you've seen how your defense moves and everything, and you got to make adjustments off that. So now you're coming in and playing a really good offensive Kentucky team, and this is going to be a high-scoring game. I'll tell you that. All right, let's jump into the NFL news real quick. All right, you're gambling or you like to place bets on some NFL games, whatever. Experts are saying, well, really, LA and the media are really saying that they're expecting 46.6 million Americans to place bets on the NFL this year. What? I don't get it. I don't do that. I mean, I put favors, or like I'll do like my pick'em things and pick games who I do think's gonna win. I'm usually wrong. I'm usually so wrong, so off, because upsets happen and chaos happens, and I don't like doing gambling and all that lottery, because I know I'll likely lose money, and I don't get it. I like to work for money, but I like to earn the money instead of just guessing, getting lucky. That's basically what it is, luck, because you never know who's going to win these games, especially on our key week one games of the week. We got the Browns versus the Panthers at noon tomorrow. Great game to watch. I can't wait to see the Panthers destroy the Browns. Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield. I want to see that battle later on in the season if those two teams meet each other and Deshaun Watson comes back. But I got the Panthers winning that game. And also, Chiefs, Cardinals, 3:25 tomorrow night. Ooh, this is going to be a good game. I actually think the Cardinals have the offense, and they got the defense to pull that out. I got to see some more defense from the Chiefs. I'm sorry, I got to see some more offense from the Chiefs. Yeah, their defense looks solid, but they got to get their offense going. Patrick Mahomes, yeah, he had a great past couple years. He had a great year last year, but it was kind of off. Well, I got to see more from him. And then at Jerry's World, Buccaneers, Cowboys. Let's see if Tom Brady can shut down the Cowboys like they always do. The Dallas is just having a rough decade, and they can't do anything about it. All right, back to college football. All right, let's talk about some noon games. South Carolina and Arkansas. This is a key matchup in the SEC. We got Spencer Rattler and Sam Pittman's team going at it. I really think Spencer Rattler's as I see last week, I could see why he's still struggling offensively. Yeah, he'll get better, adjusted to a new team and all, but I think Arkansas has got it. I really think so. And I got to see, South Carolina's offense has really got to stand out. If they want to win this game, they got to score. This has got to be a high-scoring game. I will tell you that. If South Carolina wins this game. Next game, Wake Forest, Vanderbilt. I was going to feature this as one of our big games, but now that Sam Hartman's back, yeah, this is going to be a complete meltdown. I mean, they are going to melt Vanderbilt. Yeah, I mean, it'll be hard to say that, yeah, he had a blood clotter and all that, but it's like will he still play the same? I think he will. The doctors say he's ready to go. Medical staff say he's cleared to play. I trust them. They have the best medical staff down there working on him. So I think Wake Forest is going to win by like 40 points over Vanderbilt. This may be Vanderbilt's only game where they lose by a lot. And I can't wait to see how Vanderbilt plays. Don't get me wrong, Vanderbilt's still a great team, but they're no match to them. Anyway, afternoon games. Tennessee, number 24, versus number 17, Pitt. Tennessee's ranked now, if you could believe that. Do I have Tennessee ranked? Yeah, I do have Tennessee. I have them at number 7. And Florida's right. The team I don't have ranked yet because, they're playing against Kentucky. I want to see how Florida does against Kentucky before I go ahead and rank them. Anyway, let's talk about Tennessee and Pitt. This is going to be great. Pitt put on a show against West Virginia, back-down brawl. Although West Virginia wasn't as great as I expected, they did put on a show, but I want to see more. Now we know that, okay, this will answer if Pitt can play competitive and beat Tennessee. We know that, okay, Pitt's actually a really good team, and we have to look out for West Virginia in the Big 12. But if Pitt, doesn't play well against Tennessee and lose to them, then that tells us Pitt's not as great as we thought in the ACC, and we could just forget about West Virginia and the Big 12. But I just still think West Virginia's a good game. They completely showed up. So I think it's going to be a really close game, and I want to see some high scoring in that game, and we'll definitely see it. All right. App State A&M. This is not really much of a big game. Obviously, we know that A&M is definitely going to win this game. The only reason why I feature this is because Appalachian State is known for pulling off some major upset against a Power 5 school. I don't know where it is, but I'm going to feature every time that App State plays a Power 5 school, I'm going to feature it because I want to be the one that says, all right, this is the game to watch. App State can potentially pull off an upset here, and if they lose, well, I get it wrong. But if they win, I'd be like, I got it right. App State beat Texas A&M. I knew that was going to be a big game, or A&M could completely blow them out. Anyway, next game, 3 o'clock, a Big Ten Network. This is going to be a complete blowout for Iowa State. Iowa State's got a great offense, but they don't have that much great defense, but I do think their defense is good enough to go hold Iowa's offense, because Iowa's offense is like invisible. They're not there. Yeah, Iowa's got one of the best defense out there, but I think Iowa's defense is going to be tight. I will say that Iowa State will have a hard time scoring early in the game, and I think Iowa State will find their offense late in the game and win by like 2 touchdowns. Maybe 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I got Iowa State in a close one there. I'm not spoiling my picks right there, but that may be a little hint of who I got. Anyway, also at 3 o'clock on FS1, we got Houston, number 25, versus Texas Tech. Big game. Future Big 12 battle out. These two are going to battle it out really well. I can't wait to see these two play. And it's going to give us a glimpse of like, okay, can Houston play with the Power 5 team? That would give us the answer. And then we got our primetime games, Arizona, number 11, Oklahoma State. I feature this because, I want to see Oklahoma State defense. Now, Oklahoma State had one of the best defenses in Big 12 last year. This year, after the way they allowed those points last week, they may have one of the worst. How do they go from the best to worst? But this game will give us the answer because do not forget about Arizona State. They may be one of the lower schools in the Pac-12, but do not forget them. They can and will show up. And 6:30 on ABC, big game for Stanford. They're known for pulling up upsets, and these upsets usually are against USC. So this will be a big challenge. Stanford got the offense. This is going to be a high-scoring game. I will tell you that. Both these two teams got the offense. This will really show, okay, does USC have the defense now, like they did? How many interceptions they had last week? 3? So this will really show, okay, can their defense stop Stanford's offense? And then I could already see Stanford not having any defense in that game. So obviously, USC is really favored there, but Stanford has surprised people in the past. Now, we're hyping that so much that Stanford might be a little overhyped there. It might be close. The game might be, USC might win it more than what the experts think, but we'll just have to wait and see. And also, late primetime game, another future Big 12 matchup, Baylor and BYU. I'm surprised that, I say that I'm surprised that ESPN's not hyping this up, but I'm not either. But it is a big matchup. It will tell us, okay, BYU's got a really strong offense. They got the ability to put points up. They can move, and they can move fast. They're just getting started. Baylor putting up 69 points last night. Yeah, it was to Albany. But still, this game will really show, okay, is Baylor still the favorite in the Big 12? And can BYU, once again, compete with the Power 5 team as they come into the Big 12? All right, let's talk some playoffs. All right, so just this past couple of days, we've had the College Football Selection Committee announce that the playoffs is going from 4 to 12 teams. Yeah, that's right. So, a lot of fans were like, oh, if you're going to expand the playoffs, can we just do 6 and just slowly expand it and just see how they do it? And they're like, no, we're doing 12. What? As a fan, I'm really excited for it. I love it that we get to see more football and more craziness. I know some people are probably thinking that, there really hasn't been a close game in the playoffs yet, except for the national championship game. There hasn't been one close 1 versus 4 yet. The only close 1 versus 4 we had, the 4 seed won. It won the whole thing, Ohio State. But this is gonna be. I think that this is gonna be great because more teams are gonna be excited to make the playoffs. Lower schools. It might not be close every year, but when it happens, when an upset happens, when a 12 seed beats a 5 seed, everyone will be like, wow, this playoff's the best thing ever. Now, the thing is, here's what people don't like, the players. This is at the end of the season, they're all beat up, they're tired, they're all injured, they're like, oh, we have to play another game. But, they also, the first round, the higher seed, the higher seed gets a bye week, but if you're in the first round and you're the higher seed, you get to play at home. And then when you go to the second round, when you start the good bowl games, and then when you win that round, you go to the semifinals and what we know as today, the 4 teams. Now, here's the bracket. Now, at first look, it may look little weird, but it will make sense. It's because, players and people have said that they're trying to expand the playoff, but make it look like we're not adding 5 more weeks onto it. We're just adding a couple more weeks. So we got 9 versus 8 will play the 1 seed. 12 versus 5 will play the 4th seed. We got 11 versus 6 against the 3 seed, and 10 versus 7 against the 2 seed. And then, of course, obviously, it may turn majority of the time. We'll have 1 versus 8, 1 will move on, 1 will likely play 4, 3 will likely play 2 on that side, and then it's back to the normal playoff. But we're hoping, just a couple times a year, or at least 1 every few years, we'll likely see a 9th seed up there, an 8th seed up there. Well, I mean, probably not a 9 or 8 seed beating a 1 seed, but I mean, it quite possibly might see a 6th or a 7th seed up there, maybe a 5th seed. I could definitely see a 5th seed beating the 4th seed, and then, you know, we all know that 1 seed is always going to beat 12, 5, and 4, and 9 and 8. But can the 3 seed beat 11? Probably. Can the 3 seed beat a 6? I don't know. I think we might see a 16 be a 3rd seed. But I think but now, can the 2 seed beat a 10? Yeah. Can a 10 seed beat a 2? It's up there. Probably won't happen every year, but I mean, once in a while, we'll see it happen. Yeah, 10 seed could be a 7. 7 could beat a 2. I can definitely see that as an actual upset. And then I would like to see a 7 versus 3 seed, or a 7 versus 6. Yeah, it can happen sometimes. I would love it. This is going to be, it's going to start, people are going to start turning in, the media is going to start turning kind of like a mini March Madness thing. It's not going to be 64 teams. Never. It's never going to get to 64. You can quote me on that. Never. It's never going to get to 64 teams. This is probably likely the biggest it will span. And a lot of questions is, well, I mean, this is going to hurt college football. The FCS does a playoff team. They're just fine with it. I mean, I don't see any complaint with the FCS doing a playoffs. Why can't the FBS do a smaller one? I mean, this is the big dog. I mean, these are the big teams. Why can't they really compete to show, can we get really the true top 4 teams? Alright, I'll talk about more of that later as we get closer on later in the season and our best guesses. But anyway, that playoff doesn't start till the earliest 2026. Alright, around the network every Monday night at 6 o'clock, Down and Distance. Check it out. I do a recap of college football and some NFL, the big games I saw. And also, the Slayer Report podcast. I'm just me, just talking. Just kind of what I just did about the playoffs. Just telling you all what I think, what I saw about the world of college football, mainly. And other sports. But if you just want to hear me talk and rant and just go on about my day and just about my life, pretty much. Not really, just be talking football, straight football and other things. Check out my Slayer Report podcast. And also, because of Labor Day weekend, I moved Hot Seat to this coming Monday. So check it out, 6:30 this Monday. And I got some big questions for y'all to ask me. And it's a lot about college football, and there's going to be a lot of questions about how the playoffs can impact future seasons, and then I got some NIL questions too. And also, if you haven't already, check out our website. We got a lot of great things going. I am right after I record this, which by the time that this video is out, you'll likely see our Week 1 recap. And if you go to a college football page, you'll see all the games that we will likely feature on American Gameday and talk about, and the latest news on the teams we cover. Alright, it's now time for the joke of the week. Alright, each week I'll feature just a ranked versus unranked team, and I have to pick the ranked team on which I have to make sure that they won't get upset. And really just why would you even schedule this game? Obviously this ranked team is going to win. Last week it was USC versus Rice. I won that big time. Woo! I'm 1-0 now. This week is Alabama and Texas, because I'm going to make fun of the media with this game. I have Alabama winning by 50 points. No, not really. But it will feel like it. Alabama will make it feel like they won by 50 points. Alabama will have the game won in the first 2 possessions. Yeah, before the first quarter gets to 10 minutes left, Alabama would have had the game won. You can go ahead, put my pick 'em on Alabama. I totally got Alabama winning this game. This is early game on Fox. So, yeah, getting ready in just about an hour if you're watching this video live. But, yeah, clearly Alabama's a 1 seed. Texas, not even close to being ranked. Well, I think they're 26 in the AP poll. I'm not even close to ranking them. But this will really show. Is Texas, I mean, obviously Texas is going to win this game, but it really shows, is Texas capable of challenging the Big 12? We'll put that here. But obviously, Alabama scheduled this to show, hey, we got kind of a strength of schedule. But anyway, yeah, that's my joke of the week. Alright, it's now time for the action. South Carolina, Arkansas. Big game. I gotta go with Arkansas in this game. I know South Carolina's got some offense to work on, but Arkansas's got that offense locked. I don't see any weakness on that offense. Their defense, I mean, they've showed great defense there. Although a little mistackling here and there, but they got it locked down. Wake Forest, Sam Hartman's back. Obviously, I'm going with Wake Forest here over Vanderbilt, but if Vanderbilt but it's a challenge to see, is Vanderbilt capable, or are they really back after that awesome performance against Hawaii? And they really didn't have that great performance last week, but they're really true Power 5 game, so it really shows, is Vanderbilt capable of coming back? We'll see, but I got Wake Forest, obviously, winning this game. Next game, you can go ahead and pick them up there. Real quick, A&M, obviously, is going to win this game. I'm just featuring this because, just in case Appalachian State pulls up the upset, although if they do, I mean, I'll gladly take the loss, but just featuring, hey, game to watch. Obviously, A&M's going to win this game by 40-something points. Next game, Iowa State, Iowa. This is a tough, really tough decision for me, but I gotta go with Iowa State just because I like their offense just a tiny bit better than I like them a lot better than Iowa. Iowa's got to put some offense up, and Iowa State is that team. All right, later on at 3 o'clock, we got number 25 Houston versus number Texas Tech. I definitely got Houston winning this game, but it was really good or a challenge for Houston to see if they could compete with the big dogs, with the Big 12 they're about to join. But I really think Houston's going to win this game. They're going to win it pretty decently. It's going to be a fun quarter, though. Fun fourth quarter game. All right, Arizona, Oklahoma State. I got Oklahoma State winning this game. I might regret it based on how it goes. No, I won't. I know Oklahoma State offense will show up, but the question is, will their defense? I think they will. I think they'll get the defense stopped. I think their defense will fall apart late in the game, but I think their defense will hold. Tennessee, Pitt, another big game tonight, 2:30. This is going to be a big challenging one for me because it's really hard to pick between these two teams. I want to go SEC because I know SEC is really good, but I also want to go Pitt because the ACC is also getting better and better. But I got to go with Tennessee on this game. I really think that they got just the offense and just the talent to do it, but it's going to be a fun game to watch. All right. Baylor, BYU. I got Baylor winning this game just because they put up 69 points on Albany. Yeah, they only allowed 10 points, which is impressive. BYU, I really haven't seen much from them, but this is a really good challenge to show if they are able to compete with the Big 12. But I definitely got Baylor on that game. But the game of the week for week 2, Kentucky versus Florida, a big SEC battle. And who is going to come down on top? It is going to be a really back and forth game. We'll see some good defensive stops, some great, powerful off the move. But the question is, can Florida run the ball? I think they will. And we'll likely see if Kentucky takes some shots downfield. And I really think it's going to come down to whoever can get a good defensive stop will win this game, just like Florida did, but I think Kentucky will be ready. But I got Kentucky winning this game. Just close by a field goal. If they win, Kentucky win this game's on a field goal, last second field goal. All right. Thanks for watching American Game Day Week 2. I hope you enjoy your Saturday, enjoy these games. I hope I get my picks right. See you all next week.